Hello, and thanks very much for taking the time to watch this presentation. It will be short and sweet, but the message is important. Child exploitation is happening in our area, and we need everyone to recognise it, report it, and support those affected by it. This presentation will provide you with an insight to child exploitation, covering sexual exploitation and county lines, and what signs and behaviours to look out for in those involved in it, and how to report any concerns. County lines is the movement of drugs, cash or people between the larger areas of the UK and the smaller cities, towns and villages. It's drug dealing on a large scale. Organised criminals using people to transport their drugs, sell them, then return the cash without them needing to go anywhere. We'll also look at the abuse of children through sexual exploitation and the methods adopted to groom young people and often their family or friends. Perpetrators take advantage of people and use money, gifts, food and shelter, or even giving someone attention and seemingly flirting with them as a form of grooming them or gaining access to potential victims. Buying alcohol at the local off-licence, food at the takeaway, or cigarettes at the corner shop are all examples of seemingly innocent tasks, but often done so to groom young people. We will also point you towards the many support agencies out there and encourage you to speak to someone if you need help. Short videos will now give you a better insight to exploitation. Please note that these have been recorded outside of Cumbria, but the important messages contained are very relevant to our area. We hope you find this informative, and please feel free to speak to anyone within your local policing team if you have any questions. Thank you. This presentation has been designed to share knowledge and experience of child exploitation and pass information about the signs and behaviours to look out for. Please be respectful to friends and colleagues also viewing this, and if anyone watching it has a personal experience and needs to talk to someone, support is available. Likewise, if after having watched this you need to speak to someone, support is there.
County lines is a term used to describe when a gang moves out of a large city into smaller, more rural areas and towns to continue selling illegal drugs to a new market. You may have heard of the terms going country, going OT, or maybe even going cunch. These are all slang terms used to describe county lines. The term county lines actually comes from the fact that a designated phone line is used to run this operation. These phone lines are usually referred to as a deal line or maybe even a trap line. These gangs will recruit local runners to run drugs and cash for them. These runners are usually young or vulnerable people who are not necessarily aware of what they are getting themselves involved in and are essentially being exploited by these gangs. You may know of the popular song Funky Friday. Well, actually, quite a lot of lyrics in this song clearly describe what happens as part of a county line. For more information on county lines, including how they operate, the signs to look out for if somebody might be involved, and some more key terms and phrases, then take a look at our website, fearless.org. While you're there, why not have a go at our county lines crossword? I've given you some clues to the answers in this video, but you should be able to find the rest of the answers on our website. And don't forget, if you know of any county lines activity, then please report it 100% anonymously to us at fearless.org.
I was out with mates, joking around. Then this older boy showed up. Jamie his name was. Seemed alright. Spoke to me loads and he couldn't take his eyes off me. After a bit he said he could get us some alcohol. We said sure. Sounded like fun. I went with him to the shop. I fancied him and wanted to talk some more. He spoke to me like I was an adult. Made me feel, I don't know, amazing. We went back to my friends and everyone got lively, but the drink dried up quick and they went home. He asked me if I liked clubbing, said he had mates out in town already. I'd never been to a club before. It sounded like a laugh, and I didn't want to go home anyway, so we went. At the club, The bouncer kept looking at me. I didn't like it, and then I didn't want to go in anymore. I tried to walk away, but Jamie pulled me back and put his arm around me. Said it'd be fine. And that was it. We were in. Inside, the barwoman noticed me. I couldn't look at her in the eye. I swear she knew I was underage. It felt wrong. But Jamie and his mates kept buying me drinks, and soon that feeling was gone. I was wasted. He noticed this and said I could do with a lie down. He was sweet. Ordered a taxi. Said he was taking me home. We got in the car and Jamie chatted with the driver. Said we were celebrating completing my degree. I didn't know what he was talking about. The driver kept looking at me, trying to involve me in the chat, but I couldn't even talk. The taxi stopped and Jamie helped me out. I didn't know where I was, but Jamie said it was okay. He took me into a building. I realised it was a hotel. The receptionist asked me for my name, and Jamie answered. I told him I just wanted to go home, but he wouldn't listen. Then his mates from the club walked in. It was horrid. One of the guys got on the bed. He reached my face and put his tongue in my mouth. Jamie just watched, smiling. Then I felt another man touch me. I tried to pull away, but he was stronger than me. For what felt like hours, I just laid there, hoping it would end. I locked myself in the bathroom. The bath felt the safest place. After a while, I heard the sound of a hoover. I guessed it was the cleaner. I knew I was in so much trouble, but I yanked the door open. She looked disgusted at me. I pushed past her and just ran.
The dangers of county lines. Someone involved in county lines could be forced to commit crimes for moving drugs, dealing them, and then returning cash to the dealers, to criminal damage, theft, or violence. People are forced to carry a knife or other weapons, forced to use violence on others, or even forced to sexually assault others. This is often to prove you're committed to the criminals, or done to make someone feel they can't escape. People are threatened daily, constantly made to feel they have no worth, and always feeling they need to be better, so they are liked or respected. They risk being robbed by the people controlling them, leaving them in debt to the dealers, who then use this to control the person. The victim has to repay the debt, often by moving more drugs or money. This cycle continues and the person feels they can't get out.
Issues such as those listed below are just some of the many impacts exploitation can have on a person.
Signs and behaviours. When taking calls that involve young people, consider who is in the background. Is someone telling them what to say? Do they seem anxious, worried to say the wrong thing? Does it seem alcohol or drugs are involved? Does someone take over the call, divert from the real reason for the call? Do they minimise what has happened and try to prevent attendance? Do you know the location they are in? Do you know there are issues there? Does that heighten your concern? If it's a young person speaking, do they know the area? Are they unsure where they are and unable to give landmarks to assist finding them? Does their accent fit the area they are in? Are they injured? Does the account they give seem plausible for that injury? When frontline staff arrive, Can they see evidence of drugs, alcohol, sexual activity? Do the injuries seem inconsistent with the version of events? Is someone trying to avoid frontline staff, being aggressive and intimidating, trying to get them to leave? If it doesn't seem right, report it. Ask the police to attend.
If someone's got more than one phone, then ask yourself why. Are they using both phones? Is one phone a burner phone? Burner phones tend to not be smartphones. They tend to be inexpensive with very limited functionality. Burner phones are commonly used because they're so cheap and easy to throw away, so no one bothers with them. Children going missing frequently for long periods of time are often hanging around with people who are involved in county lines. How are they getting food, shelter, and access to accommodation? Ignoring friendship groups and hanging around with other people, older or from another area, is a sign that young people are mixing and potentially becoming possible victims. Or are their new friends controlling them? Young people becoming distracted, distanced, reluctant to get involved, or actively avoiding things that they previously enjoyed doing could be a sign that they're involved in county lines. Are they anxious about something? Do they tell people their worries? Or are they being secretive? These are all questions to ask yourself why they are behaving in this way. If you notice things, try and speak to them. Ask them if they're okay and remind them if what you're doing is helping them. See if they want to open up to you. This might not happen straight away. You might need to be patient with them, but be approachable, be friendly, and ask them if they want to talk.
Signs in the neighbourhood. Cuckooing is when drug dealers and their associates take over someone's home. The resident may be vulnerable, a drug user, or in a relationship with one of the dealers. They use the home as a base to stay when they are in the area, or to store drugs or cash, or to supply drugs. The resident is often bullied, threatened, and left feeling they have no choice in what happens in their home. Look out for your neighbours. If you notice frequent visitors, people standing at the doors or windows for short periods of time before leaving, people leaving the house and returning within minutes, when repeating the process throughout the day, night, are they just being a very forgetful person, or are they taking drugs to someone nearby?
Support for people. There's so much support out there, whether that be for victims of exploitation, their families, or others affected by it or wanting more information on it. Please look at any of the below websites for more information.
Yo, give me your chips, man.
Oh, allow it. I literally just bought
I said shut up, fam.
What are you doing?
Huh? Check your back. I was only joking with him, man.
You alright?
Yeah. I used to work for some older guy when I was your age. Running errands, things like that. I had to be the man of the house. Help my mum out.
Bye, kids.
Bye.
I'm the man of my house.
Talk to me, T. What's up? How are things at home?
That's what being a man's about. Dealing with stress.
And you deal with stress.
Yo, it's Jim's line. We've got crack cocaine, heroin. We've got everything there, so you need to sanitize this quick.
Do you have any idea what he has to do to get that money? The risks that are involved? Tony, you gotta wake up.
You need to stop lying.
Where do you go?
Somebody needs to look after this family.
Some businesses have what they call an acceptable loss. You know what the acceptable loss for your business is? You.
If you notice anything highlighted to you today, whether it's something already ongoing and you weren't sure what to do, or you notice it in the future, please report it. You may feel cautious about speaking to those involved, worried how they may react, or even concerned about putting yourself at risk. We understand this and ask that you tell someone who can help. Call the police, speak to your friends, teachers, colleagues, supervisors. Please don't ignore what you see. Please don't think that someone else will tell us. If a situation is happening in front of you, ensure you are safe and call for help. Let the police decide how to respond to the information. Don't worry about wasting our time. If you're worried someone is at risk, we want to know about it. If you don't want to call the police, call Crime Stoppers, Fearless, or the other contacts that are available below. Let's keep everyone safe together.
Thank you very much for taking the time to go through this. Please remember that victims can appear in many ways. They may be dressed very well, appear very confident and happy, but if something doesn't feel right, then please be curious. Speak to your colleagues, speak to your supervisors, and if needs be, call the police. If you're worried and think someone is unsafe, then please tell someone. Stay safe, and thank you for watching.